G'day there guys, it's your main man Marky and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. If you love this kind of bloody good content, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. If you want to support even more, the membership button's down there. Ooh, join. But with that all said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's just get right into it. Posted by user ThrowRA titled, "My 40 female husband, 38 male, separated, wants me to terminate my baby with my one-night stand, 40 male, and everyone seems to agree with him. My husband and I tried to get pregnant since we got married 14 years ago to no avail. When I started nearing 40, I told him that I'll be frank with him. I feel too old and too tired to try more. Maybe we should be enough. This was 2 years ago. I felt like something died in him after I told him that, and things went south. December last year, he asked for separation. He said he loved me but wasn't happy. I was broken. We both were, but that's just life sometimes. Anyway, I thought he just wanted a break, but not a week later, I heard that he slept with a mutual friend of ours. I was heartbroken, and I called him crying and yelling. He said that we were separated. What do you think separated means? I cried and yelled some more, and I hung up. He texted me the next day asking how I was feeling. He never meant to hurt me, it just happened, blah blah blah. I didn't answer him. I took a week sick, and only my closest colleagues knew what happened because they needed to cover my work. At the Christmas party, a colleague approached me and told me that he was sorry to hear the news from my closest colleagues. I ended up telling him everything, and he ended up taking me home to his apartment. It was that one time. I felt embarrassed around him at work and told him that it was just that time, and he said he was sorry to hear that because he thought I was awesome. Now I'm pregnant, and it's his because I haven't had sex in several months before that. My first instinct is, I'm keeping her. I don't know why it feels like a her. I just didn't know what to do. I told my mum, who was angry, and told me that this won't end well. She told my husband, and he showed up at my door within an hour saying, "So you're getting rid of it, right?" No? He started crying, asking how I could do this to him, begging me to take him back. We love each other and we are meant to be together. I was right. We are enough, just the two of us, or maybe we can get blessed with our own baby. What do you mean, no? Didn't you tell me you were getting old and you were tired of trying and you wanted us to be enough for each other? I don't know what he means by that. I didn't plan any of this. Nobody is listening to me, and everybody thinks I'm going crazy keeping a child from a one-night stand. I contacted my colleague, and I told him that I was pregnant. I told him that I was contemplating keeping her, and apologized to him. I told him I wasn't expecting anything from him, and if he wanted me to terminate, he should tell me now, because I wanted to hear everyone's opinion before making up my mind. We ended up sleeping together in his office, and now we have been together every day in one way or another. He said he wanted to be in her life and raise her with me, even if we didn't end up together. I told this to my parents, but now they're not speaking to me. No one is really, and things are awkward at work. People are whispering behind my back, and I just don't know what to do. I'm very distraught. Honestly, in my head, I just keep going, keep it. Just keep it. Who cares what they're all saying? Keep the baby. You're 40 years old. I feel like the clock is well and truly ticking at this point. There is no bad blood between you and this person you've had a one-night stand with. If anything, the relationship is flourishing. Your husband was jealous that he was never able to do that for you, quite understandably, but I feel like that is no reason to ask for an abortion and to ruin that for you. It's truly heartless behavior for him to have your words turned back on you and said, "Oh, you know what, maybe we are just enough for each other." Maybe if OP was enough, he wouldn't have separated and went and slept with someone else? It's just such a mess, and I completely disagree with everyone who is disagreeing with OP on this one. Let a woman live her life and have her child in peace, my god. In the comments, Sharper View says, "You separated for valid reasons. Those were not resolved. There is no guarantee if you terminate, they will be fixed. Now you are pregnant, which is something you couldn't do with your husband. It's likely that if you get an abortion and get back together, it will end. He will be mad that you two couldn't have a baby together. You will be mad that you gave up your chance for motherhood. Your marriage will end and you will not have a baby." Dev246 replies, "Exactly. He clearly only cares about himself. Nothing good will come of them getting back together. He doesn't deserve OP. It sucks that some people in her life have turned on her, but they kinda sound like assholes anyway. On the bright side, OP will be so distracted by all the good things going on in her life, she probably won't notice them gone. Don't light yourself on fire to keep others warm. Don't make this decision for others' benefit, OP. Give yourself a chance at happiness. Now I wonder if they ever even consulted doctors about the fertility issues, and this was actually on him and not her, and he simply refused to ever get tested for it. Because what are the damn odds she gets pregnant the first time while it didn't work for 14 years? So it compounds the theory that he's infertile and having some ego issues related to that. Uni says, I think what hurts your husband more is that you moved on, and it's now very clear he was the reason you were unable to conceive. He said he wasn't happy and essentially left you. If you terminate and try to repair your marriage, he still won't be happy and will probably not be able to move past this. Your marriage was over when he slept with someone else a week after getting separated. Don't let him blame you for it. Talk to a lawyer and ensure your financial security. Tread carefully with this new guy and just take it slow. He seems like a great partner to have in parenthood. Let everything else evolve naturally. Also, make sure you're seeing a therapist to help you process all of these changes. The end of a 14-year marriage is bound to prompt some feelings that will only get more intense with hormones. If people are mad, let them be mad. This is your life, and you are not the warden of other people's emotions. At the end of the day, this will be your decision, and everyone else will have to deal with it. I think you'll be a great mum, and before you know it, all the negative noise will disappear more and more as this life grows inside of you. And now, onto the update. Hi, sorry for being offline for so long. I've just been so busy and so tired and sick all the time. I want to tell you that I have now filed for divorce from my husband. When he got the papers, believe it or not, he kicked me out of our home, so now I rent a small attic room at one of my senior co-workers. She and her husband live alone, and they are very tidy and clean. I love that she did this for me because she doesn't rent out rooms otherwise, but she simply just felt sorry for me. My family shut the door in my face. Initially, I thought that they were just disappointed that my marriage was over because they loved my husband like a son, but now I don't know if I can make any more excuses for them. They know I have been kicked out of my home and that I have spent some weeks sleeping on my friends' couches until I found this room that I can call mine. Yet no one felt that now it was time to reach out a helping hand. I'm now looking for my own place to buy. These things take time in my country. I've learned a hard lesson, that everything can turn on its head in a matter of weeks, and you become homeless, and the people you thought were your safety net, well, they're just cobwebs. One Night Stand and I are still dating, and I think we are falling hard for each other. He thought I was unnecessarily stubborn not to have moved in with him when I got kicked out like garbage, but how could I? If we are ever to succeed as a couple, I need to be with him from a place of equality. Only then we could know if this is love, pure love, and not dependence and convenience. He thinks I'm crazy thinking like that, but he respected my wish. My husband is refusing to sign the divorce. He has sent me 4 emails. I read one line from his first email, "How did we end up like this?" and I stopped reading after that. I asked my lawyer to send him an email that moving forward, the only means of communicating with me is via my lawyer and her email. He still sent one more email. This has maybe not been a very cheerful update, but please don't worry about me. I feel happy and free and just so excited for my next chapter as a mother, and hopefully with my one-night stand by my side. I love him. In the comments, Limp Outcome says, "Your soon-to-be ex. Oh my gosh, how did we end up like this? Seriously, what?" My question would have been, and how is my ex-friend you screwed? Either he's not right in the head, or it just hit him what his affair cost. Years of love and marriage down the drain. I wish you all the best and lots of love. I'm so excited about your new journey as a mother. Way to go, OP. And OP replies, "He regrets kicking me out, and is wanting me to move back home now, and he moves out and we try separation for a while. Also, he is willing to take in my baby." Huh, how generous of him. What he doesn't understand is that the mere thought of him makes me sick. I feel like a fool, not truly seeing his true colors before now, or maybe I chose not to see them. He, of course, was a great husband when everything was great and we had no issues, but did I know that he would turn into this monster he became within the first sign of hardship? I think I did. Limp Outcome responds, he wants to try separation again? Isn't that what caused all the problems in the first place? You just brought up an excellent point though. How do we know if anyone we spent years with is going to turn into a monster or cheat? Is the late 30s, early 40s some ticking time bomb for men? My husband used to counsel couples years ago, and his thoughts were the husband wanted the break so he could sleep around, very likely with a mutual friend. He wanted to know though, did your husband try to hide his cheating, or did all your mutual friends know? Either way, sleeping with a mutual friend, according to my husband, is a marriage ender. And unless you still really, really loved him, which doesn't sound like it, it's going to take a lot of work. Perhaps years to fix, and it sounds like you have someone, your one-night stand, who really loves you and is the father of your child. My husband felt that your soon-to-be ex, for whatever reason, never considered that his cheating was a marriage ender, and likely thought that you wouldn't leave him over this. In other words, a typical cheater. He is much more disgusted with your family. OP responds, he wants us to get back together, but since I refused, he said we should stay separated but not file for divorce because I need time to think. Because according to him, I'm not thinking straight. I'm not in love with my husband anymore. Limp Outcome replies, well, why should you be thinking straight? He blew up your life, your marriage, and your relationship with your family. He slept with a mutual friend. I would suggest that he wasn't thinking straight. And the reason my husband wondered if he was all out in the open about sleeping with your mutual friend or tried to hide it is because being all out in the open would suggest that he was angry at you and he wanted you to know. It would be something else if he tried to hide the affair. And OP replies, I wasn't supposed to know that he slept with her. He knew he messed up, but continued to be defiant about us being on a break, so what difference was it if he slept with a friend or not? But yeah, he knew he messed up. Limp Outcome replies, cheater logic. I'll sleep with our mutual friend and no one will ever know. Ugh. Well, this supported my husband's theory. It wasn't something that just happened, but your husband never expected this to end your marriage. My husband no longer meets with couples. Too frustrating. He said if a husband or wife who cheats could just stop before the action and think, what is the end game here? If they could just think ahead to, what happens when I'm found out? My partner devastated, and a divorce. OP, I wish you all the love and joy in the world. I'm honestly in the same boat here. I find it so disgusting that the family still won't take OP back, but I'd like to know more about why that is. Seems like there's a little bit of tomfoolery from the soon-to-be ex going on in the background. Seems like some communication errors between the two here because being on a break doesn't mean that you're broken up. I genuinely believe the soon-to-be ex didn't expect this to end the marriage. That's the only way I can justify his actions after all of this. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think down below. What's your take on this situation? Our next post is titled, Am I the a-hole for not defending my husband? My husband, 31 male, and I, 30 female, have been married for 3 years. About 4 months ago, we found out that I was pregnant with our first child. We were overjoyed and told most of our family about it early on. My husband didn't want to reveal it to our friends yet, and so I didn't. It was incredibly hard for me, especially because I couldn't tell JJ, 30 female. JJ and I have been best friends since we were 14. I love her to death, and we tell each other every single thing, but I decided to respect my husband's wishes this time. JJ also moved 3 hours away from us earlier this year, so she doesn't visit as much either. Naturally, over the past month, more and more of our friends have gotten to know about it, but I couldn't find the right time to tell JJ, and my husband didn't insist much either. Yesterday, JJ visited us, and I revealed the pregnancy through a small box that said, "You're an auntie now," with a baby onesie. Now, JJ's a little goofy, which is what I love the most about her. She doesn't care what others think, and is just a very entertaining person in general. When she saw the text, she immediately started screaming and then cried and hugged me. It was a very emotional moment for the both of us. My husband seemed pretty happy about it too, although he has been known to not adore JJ's amusing behavior sometimes. She's a huge jokester and loves roasting him. After the reveal, she gave him a huge hug and then a pat on the back and said, "Damn, Mike, didn't know you could do that." This was clearly a joke and everyone in the room let out a laugh. My husband was not very happy. He responded with, "You know, this is why you were the last one to know about this," in a very passive-aggressive tone. JJ was taken aback and confused. She asked me if that was true, and when I responded with an explanation, she said she was kinda hurt but was happy for us. The excitement died down in the room after that, and everybody left soon after. I got really mad at my husband for saying that to JJ, but he says that he's tired of her cracking jokes and not taking things seriously. And most of all, he hates that I never take his side. Knowing JJ, she's really just kidding most of the time, and I don't think that there is anything to be that offended over. My husband thinks I'm being an asshole here by not defending him. What do y'all think? Am I the asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I didn't defend my husband when he got offended over a silly joke that my best friend cracked. I might be the asshole for not taking his side. I'm on the husband's side for this one. It doesn't seem like you were listening to him and his feelings. If he's telling you that you never take his side, it probably means that you're not. Like, what else do you want me to think? Like, I don't know, wake up? Not much else to say besides that. I do think you're the asshole in this situation. In the comments, Bria Rose 1021 says, quote, "She's a huge jokester and loves roasting him." And I'm assuming that your husband has expressed his displeasure at this behavior in the past. It doesn't matter if JJ likes roasting him. If he doesn't also like it, and he clearly doesn't, then it isn't roasting. It's bullying. And, like many who have been bullied continuously, he had finally had enough and clapped back. Was it mean? Yes, but so was her bullying. If you don't have the awareness to see how her bullying affects your husband, that's a you problem, and you don't get to blame him when he stands up for himself. You're the asshole, and you need to talk to JJ about her bullying your husband. After you have a serious look at how you've helped enable that behavior for years, and apologize to your husband about it. Unfortunate Daring replies, "Yup, you hit the nail on the head. When you need to explain someone as a huge jokester and you just can't take a joke, that's not joking, that's bullying. Her friend is a bully and she does nothing to stop it. She just keeps trying to find ways to excuse it and doesn't take her husband's side. Definitely you're the asshole." It's interesting that when I first read this, it sounded like a joke that my guy friends would say to one another. However, reading it a second time, I realized there is one serious guy in our group that I would not say this to, nor would anyone else. Roasting, quote-unquote, is about knowing the person being roasted, having a good relationship with them so they are in on the joke. JJ is the mean girl bullying your husband in this 3-person friend group. Yup, it's only a joke if both people are laughing. Making fun of a serious friend can cause serious hurt. You're the asshole, OP. You won't tell your friend to leave your husband alone because he doesn't like the way she talks to him and that it hurts his feelings. But you will tell him off for, checks notes, having feelings? What on earth are you thinking? Also, JJ sounds exhausting. Continually making fun of someone, in public no less, who isn't enjoying the joke, particularly if it's done to get laughs from others, is bullying. Your friend is bullying your husband and you're blaming him for not laughing, at the insult a bully is directing at him. Get a clue before he gets a divorce. And now, on to the update. So, soon after I made the original post, I was flooded with lots of comments and judgments, and I genuinely really appreciate them. I'm someone who really believes in self-improvement, so any sort of help in that regard is greatly appreciated. I'll start by admitting that this entire thing was definitely a massive mistake on my part. I didn't communicate well with neither my husband nor my best friend, which resulted in the conflict. I had an extensive emotional discussion with my husband about how we are doing. The pregnancy has affected our relationship, and we haven't properly addressed that before. Mike told me that while he appreciates JJ and her caring nature, he's not a fan of her jokes in general and has tried to communicate that with me. While her jokes are rarely about him, he feels like she takes it too far sometimes. I apologized for not understanding his feelings and not addressing his concerns before. I feel like a horrible partner, but we've agreed to go to couples counseling to address our communication issues. JJ and I met up, and I told her that Mike has never liked her jokes and that she needs to read the room. We also discussed my pregnancy, and she said that her joke was never meant to be that deep or be directed at Mike's fertility or anything. She was sorry that she had offended Mike and that he felt like she was targeting him because that was never her intention. She also said that she felt kinda hurt only because, as my best friend, she thought that she'd be one of the first people to know. But she was really happy for us and thought that Mike was a great guy and didn't want to create any problems for us. She has some childhood trauma that she slides off using her carefree persona. So I invited JJ over to our house, and Mike and JJ had a heart-to-heart, honest conversation. JJ apologized to him for making unnecessary jokes and for not realizing that he didn't like them. Mike told her that he could have communicated that with her better instead of saying whatever he said. JJ also agreed to maintain her distance from us, which was a tough decision to make, but we all agreed that it would be the best for everyone. We only hit a sour spot when Mike told JJ that she had to start taking her life more seriously and focus on finding a boyfriend and getting a real job. JJ respectfully told him this was none of anybody else's business, and she liked her carefree life. We ate ice cream together and then bid JJ goodbye. I'm not sure when I'll see her again, but for now I'll be focusing on my husband and our baby. I was the asshole here, and I take full responsibility for my actions and will be working towards fixing that. Thanks, and have a good day. In the comments, Duchess Ravenclaw 52 says, I don't think I like anyone in this story. Yeah, I'm kinda there too. I mean, I respect the OP for the self-reflection and trying to be better, but other than that... She self-reflected, but came to some interesting conclusions. Like, why is JJ distancing herself better for all of them? Right? I don't get it. OP says they had a kumbaya moment, husband made an unnecessary remark, and they sealed the peace with ice cream. It was love all around, but JJ can't come around often? There's an awful lot of details about JJ that OP left out. And Mike too. What I'm getting out of this is that Mike hates JJ and wants her completely gone from their lives. Something's missing here, and something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Because she makes jokes, and she's single, has no kids, and her job is not respectable. She's obviously a bad influence on his wife. To be fair, OP's description of her husband and JJ's relationship is inconsistent. In the first post, she says that JJ loves roasting him, then in the second says he's rarely the target of her jokes. These two statements are not necessarily irreconcilable, but they don't gel well together. If you're constantly making someone the butt of your jokes and they don't like it, then you're just a bully. Sounds like JJ doesn't know when to keep her mouth shut, and husband needs to pull the misogynistic stick out of his ass. I feel like OP was massively trying to downplay JJ's jokes in the second post after they were both called out. Boomshroom replies, don't get me wrong, the husband clearly has an axe to grind with JJ not conforming to his ideas of gender roles, and this may go some way to understanding why he maybe likes her joke even less, but that being said, if she's been making jokes about him for years and OP just ignores it whenever he complains, it's not a surprise that he doesn't like her. It's always good looking at these comments because it kind of points out logical inconsistencies that I guess I never would see just reading the story at face value. To me, it definitely seems like OP left so many details out of this post and their reconciliation, because why would she not come over as often after that? She is your best friend after all, why do you need to put distance between you guys? You didn't give a solid reason as to why that is. All I can, speculate is that she makes jokes, she's single, she's got no kids, her job isn't respectable. If I recall correctly, she lives a few hours away. That could be the case. But if that's not the case, that's kinda yikes thinking about. I wish these people all the best. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, obviously, let me know what you thought about it down below. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.